Piyush Sion, Ankit Jain, the Assistant Vice President and Sector Head of Corporate Ratings at ICRA, is also with us. Ankit, afternoon. Your thoughts on the relief which has been provided today? Do you have a rating on Vodafone Idea? What was it? Does it change?
So we didn't have any rating on Vodafone Idea, but this is definitely a welcome move, a big relief for the sector as a whole. So we expect that moratorium on AGR dues will give a breather of around 14,000 crores for the industry. And on the spectrum dues, it will be somewhere around 32,000 crores of cash flow relief. So, and plus a period of 4 years, it gives time to the industry to do the fundamental changes, increase tariffs, and organically deleverage their balance sheets. So this is much needed for the industry at this point in time, especially given the fact that the earlier moratorium was ending in FY22 and the spectrum payments were due in next fiscal. So this comes as a big relief at the right point in time. The other measures are also welcoming. I mean, especially the rationalization of the definition of AGR, reduction in SUC dues on the spectrum sharing. A calendar on spectrum auctions, I thought, is a very good move. It gives way for the telecom operators to plan for the purchases, and also the elongation of spectrum auctions allocation for a period of 30 years. So all in all, a very good package at a very good point in time.
You're saying the spectrum dues relief would be 32,000 crore. Naveen, would you help us with the math? For Vodafone Idea, what is the extent of their annual AGR dues as well as their spectrum dues? And therefore, on an annual basis, how much cash flow will they be able to save?
Yeah, so that number, I think, looks substantial. So I think the AGR dues could be in the range of around 8,000 crores and spectrum dues are in the range of around 16,000 crores. So annual savings will be in that range of around 24,000 crores, right? So that's the kind of saving that we could be looking at for the next 2 to 3 years. So that is a significant number. Of course, the balance sheet will still reflect the dues and will still reflect the indebtedness. But from a cash flow point of view, I think they have more options, right, to manage their P&L. They have more options to invest in the business, right? So all those things are now going to be the key factors.
Nitin, so what happens to tariffs now? I mean, what are the implications? If, for example, because of what has been done, you said, well, it's minor help, but it does help. And Voda Idea, I mean, it's not it doesn't go, the sector doesn't go to becoming a duopoly, but there is Vodafone Idea and other players as well. Do tariffs start to move higher, or it's still going to be, waiting for the other guy to start increasing tariffs? So there's no visibility when that will happen. Yeah.
No, we do believe that a tariff hike is needed. Bharti's chairman has been saying publicly that industry needs a tariff for 200 rupees in the medium term and 300 rupees in the longer term. So clearly there is an acknowledgement of the fact by at least Bharti and Vodafone Idea that tariff needs to improve. I think there has been a delay in tariff increase because of COVID and because of the rapid subscriber loss at Vodafone Idea. But given this relief, now we believe that it gives a window to Vodafone Idea to do a tariff headline increase. Bharti has tinkered with tariff increases by increasing the minimum amount a prepaid user needs to pay to 79 rupees. But I think more is needed, and we do believe that in the next 12 to 18 months, the tariff can actually improve anywhere at least by 15 to 20%. But it's a difficult decision for Vodafone Idea. If they do increase tariff, then there is also a risk of further subscriber losses for Vodafone Idea.
Naveen, Nitin, Piyush, as well as Ankit, thank you very much for joining us in this big story that we're tracking today, where a telecom relief package has been cleared by the cabinet. The experts we've spoken to have said this is a welcome step. It indicates the government's commitment to have healthy, vibrant competition and ensure all the players survive. And for Vodafone Idea, as we've been pointing out, this moratorium of 4 years on all dues will provide cash flow relief, and therefore Vodafone Idea is in much better position than it was to survive. And of course, a lot of measures have been taken prospectively to bring down the burden by changing the definition of AGR, or cutting back on the penalty or the interest on interest that they were earlier charged, as well as simplifying the processes. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us on this very important issue. On that note, we'll slip into a very short break.